Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to have already decided whether we're going to stay where we're at and try to wait it out, or if we're going to get out of Dodge. Okay, guys, one thing you got to realize that in emergency situations like this, timing is everything. You know, if you delay just a little bit, you may not be able to get out of town. If they have martial law, you got to be up on top of your game and be ready to move out. So have your vehicle ready, um, uh, water, food, extra clothing, blankets, first aid stuff. Keep it in the trunk. Um, Bug out bags. You know, a bug out bag is a smaller survival kit just in case you can't take your vehicle or you have to abandon your vehicle on the way. A bug out bag is an absolute must. If you don't do anything, do a bug out bag. We've done a lot of research on bug out bags, so we're going to be able to help you out there. And please take our advice because we've been there, done that. We've tried it, and we know what we're talking about. So if you're living in the city, you're going to have to get from point A to point B. Point A being the city, of course, and point B being your long-time survival camp, whether that be a group of folks who have gotten together and have stored some supplies out in the country somewhere, out in the woods, away from the city, or a friend or relative lives out in the country. You're going to have to take this trip on foot. Worst case scenario. A couple of things to think about. First of all, you got to know where you're going. Uh, we always take it for granted if we're in the car and we take highway so and so to down to county road so and so and we're there. But if you're on foot, that's a whole different scenario. You might be able to walk on the roads, and then again, you may not, depending on the situation. Uh, if you're able to take the roads, no problem. Navigation's easy. You just got to have enough water uh, and enough food to make the trip. So let's say it's 50 miles. Do you have any idea how long it would take you to travel 50 miles on foot? Are you physically able to? Most people don't realize that they can only walk so many miles a day. Plus, another thing is you've got to walk with that 25-pound backpack plus your water. 25-pound backpack gives you enough food. You can carry enough food to last you about 3 or 4 days. That doesn't count your water. So water, you might be able to carry a 2-liter bottle with you to start with, maybe a gallon. I don't know how strong you are, how much duration you've got in your body. But let's say if you're like most people, you're going to have to get water along the way. Well, what kind of water do you have available along the way? Remember, you can't depend on any community services, utilities. So worst case scenario, we're going to have to get water from ditches, uh, lakes, ponds, streams, uh, whatever you come across. Now the problem comes is drinking this water. There are several different ways of making it more safe to drink, but the safest way is to use some of the filter systems that they have out there now that are made for survival uh, um, scenarios. We've tried several of them. The problem with them is they get really expensive real fast, and they don't hold up that long. If you've got, you've heard of these straws, filter straws. Well, that they do a pretty good job, but they don't filter a whole lot of water, and they can get pretty pricey. Um, so and and they're really lightweight and can be easily damaged. So we decided that we wanted to look for something a little more beefy, and we did find one filter system that's this thing's like nothing I've ever seen, and it does an incredible job. We've already field tested it, and I highly recommend it. I'm gonna flash up a picture of it. Okay, here's a picture of the one that we purchased. It weighs 5 pounds. It's about 2.5 foot long, and extremely durable. It filters about 2 liters of water in just a couple of minutes. It's got a replaceable filter. The filter element is washable over and over again. We just use a tire pump to pressurize it, uh, and we found it to be excellent. Okay, guys, I bought one of these and we field tested. I think I paid always a little less than $100 for it. But we tried it out. We took ditch water that was brown and full of algae, ran it through it, and the water tasted better than tap water. Um, and all we used was an old bicycle tire pump. When you compare the weight of 5 pounds to just a 2 liter bottle of water, which is a little over 4 pounds, and the filter's rated for like 1,000 gallons, forget it. It's a no-brainer. So this is one item you don't want to go cheap on. This thing's so sturdy you could use it as a club. I couldn't believe it. Kind of hard to believe they sell it for $100, but when you get one, if you order it, I'm gonna put the email right here of the contact for the guy that makes them, and man, you gotta get yourself one of them. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so now we need to deal with the food. Water weighs a lot. Well, if you get food it's got water in it, uh, and that's probably 85% of your weight. So we recommend dehydration. Instant rice, dried beans. Now, I'm not talking about a bag of dried beans. I'm talking about dehydrated beans. You can take dehydrated foods, mix them with a little water, wait for a few minutes, and it rehydrates and you got a good meal. You can also rehydrate this food without a fire. So if it's rainy, wet, whatever, and you're not able to make a fire, uh, dehydrate is the way to go. Just add water to it, let it sit for a while, and it's very edible. And I tell you what, there's nothing like having a stomach with solid food in it to pick up your morale. Another must is to learn what's edible in the wild in your part of the country. You'd be surprised at how many calories Mother Nature will supply to you. And guys, forget about building rabbit snares and catching wild deer and stuff like that. That's really not going to happen. I mean, you're going to spend way too much time, way too many calories, and unless you are really, really lucky, you're not going to catch them. More realistic would be like crawdads, snakes. I know that's creepy. Turtles, stuff like that are a lot easier to catch. Okay, so we've got our water covered, we've got our food covered. Now you need to think about shelter. Remember, you're carrying all this stuff on your back, so that's very important. Weight is very important. Now they do make some very lightweight tents. If you've got a couple of people in your group, y'all can split up these bigger ticket items like the filter. One person carries the filter, another person carries the tent. You can use trash bags, these big lawn bags, leaf bags. Cut a few holes in them for your head and your arm. You got a raincoat. You know, just think down that line.